Good day, mates! Down here in Florida with my friend Rika in the outback. I opened up with my my jungle hat on because it's minus 17 degrees everywhere else in the fucking country. And I apologize for that because it's 70 or 72 today down here. And I won't say move to Florida. Don't move to Florida. Bunch of old blue hairs, 18 million people over 60. Get the fuck out. But man, oh man, I will truthfully say I moved down here for the weather. My brother-in-law states that I should get a green screen, an executive high back, a better chair, and a mic. And that is brilliant because I right now could, put the Saigon or the Vietnam jungle, Quai San, Quai To, the hill, Hamburger Hill. And I could run that right behind me on this green screen. No fucking way for the 8 people that watch this. So we'll never have a green screen. We'll go with this hat and we'll be good. Yeah. Welcome to the Dave DY show. And as I said, apologize for the cold for everyone. I remember that. I got back from New York, and in New Jersey they had that, remember the bomb, cyclone, whatever storm? The snowstorm? How come we haven't heard that in a while? Bomb cyclone. It's been blowing. The whole Midwest, northern Midwest is frozen. New York, all New England, all the upstates are frozen. I apologize. Welcome to winter. Welcome to late January in North America, right? Dude! Oh, and it is not down here. Though I will tell you, I had to turn the heat on last night, to keep it at 69. Because it did drop down into the 40s or 50s. Which really is cold. I'm acclimated, man. Come on. I'm going sideways here, and you may not appreciate it, but I want to do a quick episode on anime, and not generalized anime. My son, Jeffrey, draws anime. He's quite gifted at it. If you go out to Instagram, or if you go out to Snapchat, or if you just Google online Jeffrey Soesbe, S-O-E-S-B-E, he's going to be 18 here in a month or 2, or 4. He's got wonderful drawings out there. And it's all anime. 99.9%. We went and saw Dragon Ball Z Super, or not Dragon Ball Z Super, Dragon Ball Super. Maybe it is Dragon Ball Z Super, I don't know. Dragon Ball Super Broly this weekend down at City Place in West Palm, which is a great place to go see movies. It was released January 16th. It uses all the voiceover for American release from the Funimation crew. And I think they're headquartered in Arizona, but their studios are all out in Los Angeles, of course. So all of the Dragon Ball voices that you've known, if you watch it, are in fact in the movie. Goku, Vegeta, whomever you got, Frieza. It doesn't have a huge display of Dragon Ball characters. It's pretty minimalized, following the canon. The canon is the doctrine, the original writing from, and I can't recall his name, Atsumi Usaki. I don't know. Some dude wrote the original Dragon Ball canon, the original Dragon Ball manga, right? And it follows that line. It follows that line with the Saiyans on planet Vegeta. It follows that line with Frieza and the Ginyu Force that show up. It follows the original storyline, the canon of Dragon Ball. And in doing that, it's pretty enjoyable. It's over an hour long. It's 110 minutes. which is pretty sizable. And if you've ever watched Dragon Ball, out of a 30-minute, a half an hour episode, you have 8 minutes of commercial, so there's actually 22 minutes of view time. And out of that, there's probably 7 minutes of action. Combat, fighting, whatever, saving, exploding, training, whatever the case. Action, not dialogue, general dialogue. The remainder of those episodes are dialogue. And on many of them, especially the Japanese release, not the abridged American versions or the censored American versions, they are teen to adult topics. So they do some pervy stuff with the women and some of the older characters and whatnot, right? But that's normal Japanese anime. So Jeffrey and I went and saw this. I'd read the reviews on it, which were outstanding. Again, I've told you, Funimation did the voices, so it's all Americanized. There was minimal Japanese visibility in it. A couple of times they had, little written Japanese characters for whatever descriptive or whatever they were showing at the beginning of the show. But for the most part, it's just speech, and it's all in English. There's no subtitles, which was freaking awesome. Toei, of course, did the work on it. This thing, as Jeffrey and I talked, and I'm not sure, looks like it's a half-year production. If you're unaware, any of the Dragon Ball shows, the specific shows that they produce, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Kai, Super, Dragon Ball, all these, for multiple seasons even, they produce an episode a week. So these guys just blaze probably 15, 17, 20-hour days, maybe even worse, writing the story, storyboarding the story, producing the final animation output. Just brutal. The Japanese, the purposeful life, right? Non-stop, sick work weeks, incredible output and production, and a fine finished product with minor lapses here and there where you can tell a scene was quickly put together. It wasn't polished output, polished artwork. And you see that often in these episodes. They'll flash to a specific scene, and the quality and grade of either the still, like one of the characters in a background, or what they tend to do is they put a still and then they move the camera in and out, right? You can see that it's a less than a normal or less than optimal piece of artwork. And it sticks out, and they don't care because they've got to produce these once a week for 26 episodes. So they smash through these. They're machines. They use very specific software. Jeffrey's got it. It's unbelievable. It allows you to, it's digital, of course, it's on a computer, and it allows you to automate so much shit, like the full-blown backgrounds, line drawing. It's art, but it is not art. It's digital art. It's digital media. And you don't have to be an artist to be excellent at it. It is in no way, shape, or form even, I don't want to say even closely. It is related, but not directly related to freehand drawing. Jeffrey goes back to freehand drawing. All the time he pulls out paper, pulls out his Faber-Castells, or pulls out his Copic markers or whatever, and goes back to freehand drawing, blank slate, clean drawing of these characters, of his new characters on a sketchbook, because there's nothing like that, right? And his transition to digital art has been insane. His art pieces are incredible. And the things that you can do on paper, but on the computer, it's so much faster, so much easier. There is complete saves. You can replicate identically. Like I said, they have layers. You can put layers, and on these layers you can blend different color, you can blend different shade, you can blend different different style. So it'll be like different lines or cloud or shimmering or anything. It's just unbelievable. These templates, and it's not really templates, but that's how it's loaded. And then you can put them on top of each other. Shit, the software is incredible, and he's gotten quite good at it, and it's all self-taught. But this movie looked to be the vast majority, probably 100 minutes of the 110 minutes, was action. It was fighting with minimal speech. There was talking, but it was fighting. Unreal. And what we both noticed over the course of the movie, and I won't ruin the storyline from you, it starts from children to end state. End state being full grown-ups, developed, and at their prime. For the three main characters, Vegeta, Goku, Kakarot, and Broly. And then their lifelines, their lives to that state, or whatever. They're in their 20s, their 30s. They are fully mature adults at the high point of their abilities. And as I said, it follows the canon. So if you've watched Super and these prior Dragon Ball series, it follows the tournaments, it follows the multiple universes, it follows all of the training, it follows all the evolutions in the Saiyan to Super Saiyan format. Super Saiyan Red, Super Saiyan Blue, it's Super Saiyan Gold. It's pretty epic, and we both noticed that throughout the movie, at intervals, 20-minute, 30-minute intervals, 15, 20-minute intervals, the art actually elevated, where it started out as cover art, excellent, beautiful, detailed art, none of the two-dimensional. It opens up with a basic two-dimensional Dragon Ball scene, and you're like, oh, okay, it's going to be this. And within the first 3 minutes, it evolves to be cover art. The detail, the lines, the blending, the color, everything is super sharp. And then it evolves every 15 or 20 minutes where there are fight scenes that almost look three-dimensional. And with the color, with the effects, with the lighting, with the shading, with just astounding. It is the best presentation of Toei animation, and for the most popular. Dragon Ball, and I mean, it's debatable, but Dragon Ball is the most popular anime, manga, canon that's out there, right? It's been in the US the longest. Everybody knows what it is if they know anything about anime. Sure, there's so many different ones. And you can go to Yu-Gi-Oh!, you can go to Pokemon, you can go to Sword Art Online. There's tons of them, right? For children, for adult. But Dragon Ball is one of the most popular for teenage to adult. And this thing is top-notch production. And it's complete action-packed. Jeffrey walked out and said that had more action in it than the entire season of Super. 80, 90, I don't know, episodes. Multiple. This was released in Japan in December, and then they released it here in the US January 16th. It's a limited release, so if you go to certain theaters, you'll have a one-time showing on a certain evening. City Place in West Palm, it's a little bigger, so they were showing it every night for, I think, 5 showings. But over here in Palm Beach Gardens, there was one showing, and it was 7:30, and it was on like 3 nights, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, or something. So they knew it didn't have the audience to attend. Makes sense. Costs money to roll that out everywhere and play it all the time, right? It is by far the best piece of Dragon Ball I've ever seen. Not to mention, Broly is one of the most awesome anti-heroes. I call him that. Jeffrey called him a villain, right? He's not a villain. He's an unknown. and the conditions dictate that he assumes the role of a villain, but it's because he knows nothing else. And because he knows nothing else, this shows you his evolution, and it's just fabulous. If you recall the early Dragon Ball Z Kai showings of Broly, where he had the giant mane that went down, not like Goku with the points, or not like Vegeta with the arrow that goes back, or the flame type. Broly's got a giant hairdo that goes all the way down his back, and he's green. They picked green, almost like Krypton and Superman, or I don't know. Awesome, and he is insane. It's extremely. The storyline it's sort of typical but weird on what happens to he and his father, but it totally falls in line if you spend a moment and think about it. It comes together wonderfully, so it's thoroughly thought out. And as I just said, Jeffrey said this has more action than the entire season. More action than the entire season, and it's nonstop. And it's a great storyline, and the artwork is off the chain. It's off the hook, man. It's exceptional. And it's believable. It goes by in a blink. It's open-ended. He and I, this is guess, I don't know. As I said, they were producing an episode, a 22-minute episode a week. This is an hour and 10 minutes, 110 minutes of exceptional cover art, top notch, and then incredible digital technique, CGI, right? I would gander this took 4 to 6 months to draw at one of those clips where the Japanese just go balls to the wall, all out. It comes together. You sit back in amazement. Easily, I could go back and watch this again multiple times. There are so many pieces where, not Matrix-like, because it's not that convoluted of a storyline, but just from the visuals, you miss pieces because the action's so fast. There's so much going on, and I'd like to re-see a lot of those awesome techniques and CGI components and artistic components. Just exceptional. I would give this 100 out of 100. I think it's got a grading in the 90s. It came together wonderfully. We sat back and we were like, oh my God, we're so glad we came and saw this. There was 15 people in the theater, as I suspected. It's been out for 2-3 weeks. No one went. It was a rainy, shit cold day here. No one went. The movie theater was packed. Dozens, hundreds. The lines were huge. 50 people in our massive theater. So everything about it was enjoyable. And I am very pleased I went and saw it. I haven't watched the majority of Super. I've seen a few episodes. They do releases online if you have Crunchyroll and some of the apps, like Netflix, where you can stream these things. They're all subtitled. They're all in Japanese. Dude, and then the way that I initially saw Dragon Ball unfold, where you had massive slivers of dialogue, where they'd sit around and talk, or they'd laugh about, Bulma, or the families, or King Kai, or whatever, being off on another planet, doing something, and it wasn't action related. And then they'd have these spurts of action, often combat or training and evolution. You'd see Goku or Gohan. Gohan disappeared, man. In Super, apparently, he's a grown-up adult that plays a comic book character on TV. He plays a superhero on TV, and his skills and his power are minimal, which that completely fell out of line. Because if you recall, Gohan was supposed to be even more powerful than Goku. But again, Saiyans have to train. They have to evolve. So you see a lot of that. Great storyline, as I said. Broly's unreal. Frieza is Frieza. They put him exactly in line with what you'd expect. I'll give you a snippet. He goes Frieza Gold. So if you're at all familiar with the storyline, yeah, Frieza Gold, and it's funny. There's comedy in it. There's a number of humorous parts. Goku and Vegeta, they merge, and in merging they have to do the dance. If you know what I'm talking about, and there's some humor there. It's so enjoyable. It goes by extremely quickly. I would say to anyone, go and see this movie. You are going to thoroughly enjoy it. There's no inconvenience. There's no disappointment. It is just simple and wow. Which is nice to see. It's nice to see anymore. It's exactly what I expected, but way better. I thought, oh yeah, this is going to be great, you know? Because I love the storyline, and it's been a while. I only thought 110 minutes seems long. Off the charts. They followed whatever the recipe was for explicit success perfectly. My one request would be to Toei, I would say, can you do this every 6 months? Can you produce this? Why don't you produce this? I don't know what the box office will be for this. I would hope it would be huge. It's got to be huge in Japan. There was nothing negative about this, but again, I'm American. I don't know what the Japanese culture, how they viewed it and accepted this. I would roll these things out every 6 months, and it had to be a monumental feat, because when you look at everything all told, it's a hell of a production. So those are my thoughts. Go see it if you can. I don't know how much longer it's going to be out. Enjoy the hell out of it. Dragon Ball back in full force, man. Awesome. Kudos to the entire corporation, and kudos to everybody that watches that. But if you dress up at Comic-Con as Vegeta, I will punch you in your head. What are you doing? There's no Vegeta. That's not real. I wish it were. I daydream about it, but I'm never going to build my costume and wear it somewhere. To each his own. I definitely go like Harry Potter. Dude, have my wand that I bought up at Universal that has the feather. Dude, Harry Potter, it's my robes. Fuck you up. Yeah. I'm Elamdora. Whew. Yeah, whatever. I hope you enjoyed a little snippet here. It's way off beat. I know. I'm on the side here. You'll be like, what the fuck? What's this about? Where'd this bullshit come out of? I'm just sharing, man. It's from me to you. So enjoy Dave DY Show. I will see you YouTubers later. Out!